Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Very good morning. We have only 17 joined. What about the rest? Okay. Any questions from the last session? Anyone have any questions from the last session? Okay. If you don't have, then we'll go ahead and we'll see the pending topics of testing terminology. So yesterday we were discussing about the terminologies that we have in testing. And today I'll continue the remaining things from user acceptance testing and whatever so pending. Okay. So user acceptance testing. User acceptance testing. What do you mean by user acceptance testing? So let me tell you an example of by taking SDLC into consideration into this. Okay. So let's say for example, we started our SDLC. Consider that we are into either waterfall model or agile model, whatever it might be. So it doesn't matter which model it is, but the phases that we are going to follow will be from SDLC only. So SDLC, when we start with requirement gathering or requirement collection, it navigates to requirement analysis, it navigates to okay. So requirement collection, requirement analysis, and then design, and then coding, and then testing. Finally, we have deployment, release, and maintenance. So this is I just mentioned the just short forms of this. These are not the exact short forms. I just mentioned the letters to indicate which phase it is. Here, when we are talking about deployment, release, and maintenance and testing, these two are the critical phases in order to deliver the application. We cannot go ahead and we cannot deliver the application directly to the customer. Whenever you said testing is completed, customer will ask you to drive through the functionality. So because there are a lot of different types of peoples are there in the customer environment, like end user environment or in the live. So wherever you are delivering this application, in that environment there are different people, like old age people will be there, some technical people will be there, young people will be there, young persons will be there, like and non-technical people will be there. Okay. And some different disability people will be there. So you have to handle all these kind of categories before delivering the application to the customer, before delivering the application to the live environment. So in order to understand how this application works and all, customer wants to check whether the application is performing properly or not, whether the application is working properly or not. In order to accept that deliverable, in order to accept the application to be delivered into live environment, user is going to perform a pre-activity which is called user acceptance testing. The name itself is indicates user acceptance. So in order to get that acceptance from the user, they're going to perform a testing activity. Before entering into the live environment, they're going to perform some pre-activity, which is nothing but user acceptance testing. So here I have mentioned all these phases because you need to understand how this workflow is going to happen. These two are the last two phases are the critical phases in order to deliver the application. So in that case, user acceptance testing, even if you can go through this particular lines, you'll get the same point. It is performed by the end user or client according to the business requirements. The objectives of user acceptance testing is to confirm application is ready for release or not. That means after that basic testing activity performed by the end user, they are going to confirm whether the application can be released into the live environment or not. Here we are having two techniques. Whenever we are performing UAT, there are two techniques. One is alpha testing, second one is beta testing. I can say 50-50% chances for these two questions. What is meant by alpha testing and what is meant by beta testing in the interview point of view? 50-50. Okay, let's see what is meant by alpha testing. Alpha testing is nothing but it is going to perform at the developer site and in controlled environment. If any defects are identified, those will be resolved immediately and should get approval from the client or customer. Whereas to go to beta testing, after alpha testing, the application will be deployed in client environment. Then client will perform testing activities with real-time data is called beta testing. If any defects are identified, those will be recorded and sent to the developers. Activity is same, both are testing activity, but how they have differentiated between alpha testing and beta testing is the important one. Let's see how they have differentiated that. Alpha testing. This is going to perform under developer site. Don't think that developer site is nothing but development environment. Developer site is nothing but the project where the project development activity is going to perform, the place where the project development activity is going to perform. That's called developer site here. That means you are going to work with testing environment only. You are not going to work with development environment. Okay, whatever the programs that they have written, no, not there. They are going to give you separate QA environment. There you are going to perform. Okay, alpha testing will be performed in the developer site, and if there are any issues, if there are any defects, we can say if there are any defects, then those defects should be resolved immediately and inform the same to customer. That means here, whenever you are facing defects in this development testing, in this site, in this execution, in this testing part, then those defects should be resolved immediately. Don't wait for customer approval, or don't send it to customer to get the approval, or don't wait for anyone else. If you think that this is a defect and there is some deviation between the implementation and the actual requirement, if you want to fix it, if you need to fix it immediately and inform the same thing to the customer. There is an issue in the developer side, maybe the same issue will be there in the UAT as well. Same issue will be there in the UAT as well. You may face this kind of issue, and we already fixed this issue and we are going to deploy this code in future releases. Maybe next release we are going to give this particular code, so that at least end user will aware of, okay, this issue has been identified and development team is working on this and they are going to fix this issue. Otherwise, that will be a big escalation part from the customer team saying, okay, these many issues are there, no one identified these things. All these kind of escalations is going to happen. So instead of that, here we are going to fix this issue immediately. We are going to resolve this defect immediately, and then we are going to inform the same thing to the customer, saying this is the defect we have. Whenever we test it in testing environment or in our site, we are having these many issues, and we log these issues, and we are working on this. And these are the list of issues we identified. Maybe the same issues will be replicated in your beta testing as well. So we will make sure that we are going to release these defects in the next upcoming release. We are going to fix this in upcoming release, and we'll give the complete application. So likewise, they are going to communicate in the same format. Beta testing. Customer or client or end user environment. I can say end user site. Okay. So if there are any defects, those will be recorded or tracked by the customer and share them to the development team to fix. So here, customer will not have permissions to, customer may not encourage to write the code in their environment. So that's one of the main reason what they'll do. They are going to record, or they are going to track all this, whatever the defects that they are going to have, they are going to track everything, and they'll share all these defects to the development. So how they are going to track? Even the same Jira permissions we are going to give to the customer. In Jira, they are going to raise the defects, and all those defect numbers will be shared to the development. So that developer can go through that particular each and every defect raised by the client, and they'll prioritize which one is high priority now, and which defect is having medium, and which defect is having. Prioritize means development team is not going to keep the priority here. Development team will set which one has to fix the first, which one has to fix the last. They are going to think about that dependencies and priorities, and they'll fix all the issues. That's how alpha testing and beta testing works in the real-time environment. Simple. Alpha testing is at developer site where testing is going to perform. Beta testing is nothing but it's an end user environment, or it's a client environment, or it's a customer environment. Two differences are, anyways, we'll have defects in both the environments, but in alpha testing, the defects will be resolved immediately and inform the same thing to the customer. And here beta testing, it will be like a little bit slow, I can say. One step back will be there. So they are going to record, they are going to track everything, and they are going to send all those defects to the development team. That's how it works in the real time user acceptance testing. Any questions? Any questions?
No.
Okay, fine. And then
Sir?
there are few other testing activities.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, once again explain beta testing, sir.
Okay. Beta testing is something like it is going to perform by the client. Okay, beta testing will be performed by the client. Second point is, if there are any defects while they are testing the application, when they are performing the testing activity in the application, they are not going to fix the issues directly. They are going to record, and they are going to track all those issues, and they are going to share those defects to the development team. So then development team will fix it and give it back to the customer.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next one. There are a few other testing techniques we have. Sanity or smoke testing. So sanity or smoke testing, you can just go through this definition, but I'll read out. If any queries, please do let me know. So it is also called as build verification test, build acceptance test, test acceptance test, stability test we can call. Whenever build applied at test environment. So whenever we are going to get the application from the development team, whatever the basic kind of testing activity, whether we can whether we can continue the testing activity or not, whether we can test this application or not. If you want to decide in that particular aspect, then smoke testing or sanity testing is going to perform. The difference between smoke and sanity testing is smoke is nothing but it's a very basic kind of testing activity which can give confirmation whether the application is working or not. Let's say I need login page. Okay, login page is working or not. Without login, I can't move forward, right? So what are the major cases that we have in the application? Those can be tested or not. And whether we can accept this application for testing or not, we are going to validate that. The initial, it won't take much time. We should not spend like days and days on smoke testing. Maximum, if the application is very big, maximum time will be only 6 hours. Within 4 to 6 hours, we need to complete the smoke testing activity. If the application is very small, max to max 1 to 2 hours, that's it. Within that, we need to complete the smoke testing activity, smoke and sanity testing activity, and we need to confirm whether we are able to continue the testing activity or not. So if there are any major issues, or else if you are not able to log into the application, immediately you have to send out and you have to raise a defect. You have to send out an email to the development team saying, so the application is not working and we are not able to log into the application, and this is the issue that we are facing now. This is the defect that we are facing. You need to intimate the same thing to the development team, whether you are continuing the small application testing or not. It's a simple thing. Ad hoc testing, it's also called as random testing or informal testing. This type of testing performed based on the previous experience of test engineer. Like ad hoc activity, it's a sudden kind of activity that sometimes we need to perform. We don't have any plan and we will not have any planned things to test the application, but at some point of time we may get sudden work where we need to test the application. In which cases, mostly when the requirements are not clear, maybe you'll have the prototypes or dummy screens to test it very frequently. And when testing team wants to test the application which is already tested, when someone tested this application and they are not clear about the status, in that case some random testing needs to be performed. Some random scenarios you have to pick, random functionalities you have to pick, and you have to validate whether those are working or not. Exploratory testing. Suppose if any new application launched into the market, you don't know about that, what you can do? You're going to explore the features, right? You're going to see what are the features available in this application. How can we use all these features in the application? That kind of exploratory, that kind of exploration that we are going to perform, right? So those are nothing but exploratory testing, exploring the application without having any domain knowledge. Without having any domain knowledge. So that's called exploratory testing. Jump or monkey testing. Due to lack of time, testing team will validate the major functionality of the application. It's all because of lack of time only. So whenever there is no time, whenever there is no time, so that means we need to deliver the application within a day or two, but we don't have we don't have that much time for to complete all the testing activities. In that case, jump or monkey testing is going to perform. So without having time, how can we perform that activity? In this case, we are going to prioritize the functionality. Which functionality is having high priority? That means without this functionality, we cannot move forward. That means this is a high priority and this is a major functionality in the application. And we need to test this major functionality first, and later we will concentrate on the small functionality or the pending ones. So jump or monkey testing is simply nothing but testing the application with prioritized standards. Like whatever the prioritization that you are going to perform, you need to prioritize the activities and then you need to test it. This is because of lack of time. Lion testing, localization testing. What do you mean by localization testing? If your application supports your local languages, then it's called localization testing. Simple example is your Google page. If you can go to Google, sorry, Yeah. If you can go to Google, at the bottom of the screen, you can see Hindi, some language, I don't know, Marathi or some other language, Bengali or don't know, Telugu, Marathi, Tamil, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, and then I don't know this one also. Okay, these are the languages that we are having. These are our local Indian languages, we can see, right? So if you click on Hindi, the complete website will convert into Hindi. If you click on Telugu, the complete website will convert into Telugu. If you click on Tamil or whatever the language, likewise, whenever your website supports your local languages, whenever your website supports your local languages, let's say I'll show you one thing. Canada government of Canada. I'm just going to this website. If you can see, here the complete website is in English language. But at the top of the screen you can see Government of Canada, but here this is another word but same meaning. Government spelling is different. DU Canada. Canada is, anyways, that's a country name. We are going to have the same thing. But at the top of the screen, you can see Francis. That means if you click on this one, the complete website will be converted into French language. See, the complete website will be converted into French language. And even you can see the header. This come forward, and this has been vice versa. Okay, this complete has been changed. And even if you can go to menu, the menu will be in the French language only. If you can click on English, you can see the complete website will be in English. Immigration, citizenship, travel and tourism, business, industry, all these in English language now. If you click on Francis, go to this one, you can see all this is in French language. That means French is their local language. Whenever your website supports your local languages, and whenever you are testing those languages, that's called localization testing. Maybe I don't know if you guys are aware of this point or not. Whenever you search for jobs in Naukri or any kind of portal, in that portal you can see there are a lot of openings. Sometimes if you can go to maybe this is right or wrong, I'm not going to tell. There are few companies I can say like Capgemini, Cognizant, and there are few other companies like Amazon. There are few other companies also, but still if you can observe more on these companies website, they're going to have the requirement the person should have knowledge on Japanese language, the person should have knowledge on Dutch, the person should have knowledge on Spanish, the person should have knowledge on French. Why they are going to give this job notification as a job description? Because the applications what they are developed is related to that particular country, and they need some local language experts, that country local language experts, in order to test. We all know Telugu, Hindi and English, but when we come to Japanese language, we may don't know. Some skilled experts has to test that application in order to understand how this Japanese language looks like and how the website is going to display all these terms and everything in Japanese language and all. So if you are going to test the application based on that local standards of that website, then localization testing we can call it as. Internationalization testing, so international languages. So if our website, if our Indian government website supports like Spanish, French, Dutch, all these are international language. These are not our local Indian languages, right? So if our website supports all the international languages, then we can call it as a internationalization testing. Short form we can say I18N. Short form is nothing but it's an I18N testing. And final important things are regression testing and retesting. Without these two, we have how many people in the team? 20 to 21 persons in this team, 21 members in this group. All the 21 members will have these two questions. What is regression testing? What is retesting? What is the difference between regression testing and retesting? If you add few more, even that few more people will also have the same thing. Same question in the interview. So even for experienced also, they're going to have this question. Okay. What is mean by regression testing and what is mean by retesting? Don't get confusion here. It's a simple concept to differentiate regression testing and retesting. Okay. Let me tell you one example here. Regression testing. What is mean by regression testing? Testing the application in all impacted areas. Testing the application in all impacted areas. So this is a simple definition I have mentioned here, but how can we understand? How can we know we need to perform this regression testing activity, or else how can we know that the testing activity performed by us is nothing but regression? How to understand this? I'm just taking the example of Gmail again. Okay, under this Gmail, we are going to have login. Okay, we are going to have inbox. We are going to have sent items. Drafts, trash, spam or junk. I'm going to consider these 5 menus. Okay, inbox, sent items, drafts, trash, spam or junk. Okay, in order to perform these activities, if you want to perform any of the action in inbox, what is the main thing that you have to do? Login, right? So if you are going to log in, then only you can see inbox. If you log in, then only you can see sent items. If you log in, then only you can see drafts. If you log in, then only you can see trash. If you log in, then only you can see spam or junk. If you are not logging into the application, you cannot see any one of this menu, right? Correct or wrong?
Correct, sir.
Right. Now, for example, I logged into the application and I'm working on inbox now. I logged into the application and I'm working on inbox. When I'm working on inbox application, when I'm working on inbox menu, I received an email. When I received an email, I want to reply back to the same email saying some answer and some important information. I want to reply to that email. Now, what is going to happen if I'm going to reply immediately? We all know that the replied email, the sent email will be stored in sent items. Sent email will be stored in sent items. Suppose if you composed an email and if you are not sending it, that will be saved in drafts. Suppose the email which you have received, selected and delete, that will be saved in trash. Suppose some emails that you are going to receive, those are in spam. Intentionally, you cannot move it, but sometimes it can move to spam or junk. So intentionally we may not move to spam or junk, but somehow the person who sends out an email, maybe because of their internal network or something, they are going to store all the emails in spam or junk. This is a different chapter where we are not going to concentrate much on this. Here, once you log into application, then only you are going to perform all these activities is the first point. Second point, whatever the email that you received to inbox page, that will be, whenever you send out an email, reply to that particular email, that will be displayed in the sent items. Whenever you composed an email and if you are not sending out an email, then it will be in trash. That means if you want to test all the menus, there is a dependency between inbox, sent items, drafts and trash. Regression testing is nothing but testing the application in all impacted areas. All impacted areas. That means if you receive an email, okay, I tested that, but I clicked on view email. I just use the options whatever I have in that inbox page, and I clicked on each and every link and I selected each and every option. All are working, but where this is impacting also you have to test, right? Once you reply email, go and check all the menus where this replied email is being displayed. Okay, you navigated to sent items, yes, it is displaying. If the email what you have sent is not displaying under sent items, then that's a defect. Then that's a defect. So whenever you are checking all the impacted areas, then it's nothing but regression testing. One simple live example I can tell you in your real time. It's all about like your home nets. Okay, if I want to switch on the fan, what you are going to do? You are going to on that particular switch and you are going to see the fan is rotating. It's your requirement. It is impacting. You are working on one. You are switching on that particular switch and you are seeing the impact area. The fan is rotating. It's called regression. If the switch itself is not working, and if that particular switch has completely damaged, and if it is not completely working, and if you are going to fix that switch and you are going to check whether that switch is properly you are able to properly switch on that or not. Testing the same functionality again and again, that means testing the same control again and again, is nothing but retesting. We are not going to concentrate on the impacted areas here. Whether that is rotating or not doesn't matter, whether that is switching or not doesn't matter, but initially this switch is working or not, if I'm able to press it or not, if I'm able to switch off it or not, you're going to check that, right? So that kind of activity, repetitively testing the same functionality again and again without analyzing the impact areas, is nothing but retesting. This retesting is generally happen when the development team fix the issues in the environment. So we are going to retest the same defects again and again. We are not going to concentrate much more on the other dependent functionalities. Okay, so that's a very important thing that you need to understand. Any questions? Anyone have any questions? Is it clear? Okay, fine. I think I'm good with the concepts of manual testing, and I am expecting some inputs from you. So how you understood based on the concept so far we have discussed, and based on the explanation from my end, how you are going to explain, right? So how will you be able to understand whatever concept so far that we have discussed, and what are like interview questions also have listed down, not with the recent couple of sessions, but earlier whatever we have listed down all those questions, and we discussed few of them, and we discussed the pending ones as well. So the recent concepts what we have discussed from past 2 to 3 days, if you have any questions, if you can come up with your questions even in future sessions also fine for me, but let me know if you have anything to discuss that you want to know one more time. So let me know. Maybe you can think for 2 to 3 minutes and let me know. With this, I completed manual testing concepts. I don't have anything pending for manual testing concepts, but Jira is one thing I have in my plate, where I'm going to give you maybe at the end of the sessions, because it's all about the trial version which is available. There is no licensed version available, and we cannot purchase it for only 1 or 2 batches. But we will have trial version which is available for only few days. So that's one of the main reason I'm not going to use it right away. Maybe at the end of the training sessions, I can say around after test automation, at the end of the test automation, I can use Jira, and I'll explain you about how this Jira works and all. Maybe right now it's not, I'm not covering that Jira concept only. Rest of the concepts we can cover, but if you want to get the complete information, I'll share the notes of how to create a defect and all. Maybe you can just go through that. Maybe that should be enough for you. Think about it. Whatever the concepts that you want me to explain one more time, or any questions, you can just, you're always welcome to ask. So if you have any, let me know. Otherwise, I'll take one sample project and I'll show you how the testing activity can be performed. So I'll be on mute meanwhile. If you have any questions, please let me know so that I can give you answers on those.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you explain the severity and periodic concept?
Okay. Okay. Fine. Severity and priority. What is meant by severity and what is meant by priority? And where we are going to get this one? So severity and priority, basically we discussed about this particular terms during defect life cycle or bug life cycle, or this concept. Whenever we are talking about the defect, we discussed about severity and priority. What is mean by severity and what is mean by priority? Who is the responsible person for these terminologies, and how to understand this one? Okay. Severity. Severity, priority. Severity will be set by the QA team, and priority will set by the customer. Severity will set by the QA team, and priority will set by the customer. So what is mean by here? We discussed about the responsible person, but what is mean by severity? What is meant by severity? Anyone remember the example what we have discussed? We discussed about the patient in the hospital. What is the severity level of that particular patient will be defined by the doctor, will be defined by the patient. Priority will be set by the doctor. Whether it is priority to whether it is prioritized to take the action immediately or not will be decided by the doctor. Likewise, severity is nothing but how much it is impacting on the application. Whenever you find out a defect, whenever you saw a defect in the application, how much it is impacting, in what are all the areas it is impacting on the application, is nothing but the severity. Priority is nothing but if it is impacting on all areas of the application, it's a high priority. If it is not at all impacting, it's just a defect that we have seen. If suppose there is some look and feel issue, there is some alignment issue, okay, there is some background color issue. Instead of blue, it is displaying some sky blue. It is not impacting on the functionality. That means it's not a severe issue. It's not a priority issue at all, but it's a defect. Why we are calling that as a defect? Because it's a customer requirement. Customer selected so and so color, but we are displaying other color. So that's one of the deviation that we have. So that's the reason we raised it as a defect. But still in that defect, whether it is a severe defect or high severe defect or high priority defect means no, both are not. It's not a severity defect, it's not a priority. Low priority, low severity. When we can say that it's a high severity and high priority, if that particular defect is impacting on all other areas of the application. Let's say in the previous example, we took login and inbox and send items, right? Suppose, let's say for example, this is the one we have, okay? Login. If I'm able to log in into the application and if I'm able to perform all these action, but spam and Zenk is not working. Spam or Zenk is not working. If it is not working, then what it means? It's a low severity. If spam or Zenk is not working, then it's a low severity. And priority can be set by the customer. If customer really wants to see this screen and it is mandatory for them to check whether the email has been received to spam or Zenk, then they'll set it as high priority. But if it is not required at this point of time and it's not emergency, then they can set it as low priority. But severity level will be always low because this is not impacting on other areas of the application. Understood?
Yes, sir.
And coming to the inbox, if inbox is not working, then it will be high severity, high priority. Because if you want to receive an email, you should have inbox. If you want to send out an email, you should see inbox, right? Without that, there is no specific action that you are going to perform here. That's the reason we can mark it as high severity and high priority. If the impact areas of your defect is more, then it will be high severity. If the impact areas of your defect is less, then it's a low severity. Anyone else? Any other questions? Okay. I think we are good. Coming to assignments. So who, by this time everyone has completed, I guess. Anyone is still pending? Anyone? No one? Jyoti, did you receive all the documents from these guys? How many you received?
Sir. Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. I want to know the WhatsApp numbers. I want to send the.
Okay. Maybe Jyoti can guide you on that.
Yeah.
So did you receive all the documents?
I just shared my mail in the chat box. You can share with that mail, okay?
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else still pending? Devi Divya, you completed?
Completed.
Hello?
Oh, yes, sir. Completed, sir.
Okay. Yesterday, one guy said there is one pending. Who is that?
That's me, sir. Navin Kumar.
Who is that?
Navin Kumar,
Naveen.
sir. That's
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you completed, right?
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Anyone else? Fine. So if you have completed, then I'd appreciate your efforts, and I'll get all those documents from Jyoti, and I'll review it in the next week. I don't have any specific documents to go forward now. So whatever the concepts that we have discussed so far, just revise those things, and maybe Monday we will have some mock discussion on the interview point of view. So only interview point of view. I'm not going to guide any kind of concepts, or I'm not going to start any kind of questions here. So whatever the concepts that we have discussed so far, just revise those concepts from your end. I heard that few people receive the material. Most of the people receive the material as well. So just go through that document and prepare it by yourself. Concentrate more on test cases, whatever the topic that we have discussed. That is the important and the base thing that we need to know as part of manual testing. So try to get as much information as you can, but make sure you are going to use this opportunity for mock interview, so that we'll come to know what is your ability to go with the basic kind of interviews. Okay, so it's a very important thing, guys. Try to understand how this interview process can go on. So it's something like a real time perspective only. So we'll have this kind of mock discussion on Monday. And today I'll show you how to test the application. I'm not going to give in-depth knowledge on that. I'll just give you overview of how we are going to proceed with the application testing, and how can we test the application, and if you have any defect, how to identify that, and which one we can call it as a defect and which one we are not going to call it as a defect. So we will see all these things now. Let me go to one application. One second, guys. Just give me a moment. I'm just searching for the application. Okay, 1 minute. I'm going to stop and reshare my screen. Let me know if you are able to see my screen. Okay, I just shared.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this is, I just took it in Google. This is just a demo site we have. Okay. So if you want to test this website, assume that you receive this website from the development team and they have developed all these features. Okay. If you receive all the features from the development team, all these features from the development team. So how you are going to test? They are not going to give you the code. They are going to give you the application URL like this. Whatever the application you are seeing on screen now, they are going to give this URL to you. And they're going to send out an email saying that the application has been deployed in this particular below environment. Use the URL for your testing activities and let us know whatever the issues that we are having, whatever the defects that we are having. So they'll send out an email like this. That's it. They're not going to give you the application code and they're not going to ask you to configure everything in your application. So based on the application that you received from the development team, based on the information that you received from the development team, you'll be navigating to this particular screen. Okay. So if you have this screen in front of you, how you are going to test? What are the areas that you are going to concentrate mostly here? So as part of my understanding, like whenever I started working on application testing, what I can do is simply I want to know what is this website related to. There are three main things that I'm going to understand first. What is the theme of the application? Okay. What is the theme of the application and who are the end users of the application? Who are the end users of the application? What type of functionalities that we have to cover in this particular sprint? Okay, these three things I'm going to consider every time when I'm going to test the application. Okay, so when I enter into the screen, I simply click on submit button. If I click on submit button, I'll come to know what are the key areas the functionality is going to be concentrated. Suppose if I'm going to click on, please fill out this field, it is saying. So what is this field it is related to? It is asking me to enter first name. Let me enter first name, QA. Let me enter last name, Tim, QA test, something like 123, street number 4 or street number 10, email address, QA tech @gmail.com. Some random email I'm going to give. 123456789, male or female, any gender you can select. And here, if you are seeing this round buttons, which are nothing but radio buttons, we can call them as radio buttons. If you have multiple options with the radio buttons, you can select only one. If you select male, female cannot be selected. If you select female, male automatically it will clear. Okay, radio buttons can be selected only one in that particular option. And this check boxes, you can select n number of checkboxes. If you have 3, you can select 3. If you have 10, you can select 10. If you have n, you can select all the checkboxes. There is no rule like that. If you want to select only one, you can select only one. Okay, so checkboxes can be selected whatever the number that you want, but radio buttons can be selected. Radio button, only one radio button you can select. And here here you are having language drop down, so you need to select language. Let's say I'm selecting Arabic, I'm selecting this one. You can select n number of languages here. You can select n number of languages, whatever the language that you know. Somehow some people may know 3 languages, some people may know 6, some people may know 10. If you want to select all 10, you can select all the 10 languages, required languages here. And you have to select the skill as well. Let's say I'm going to select Android for now. Select the country. It is not loading. See, this is an issue. Arabic I'm selecting. Let's see if country is displaying. No. So country. Here you are seeing star mark, but country drop down is not loading anything. This is a defect. You need to log this defect in Jira. Country field is saying as a mandatory. Wherever you are seeing star symbol, that means it's a mandatory field. You have to enter or select the data as a mandatory thing. You have to enter or select the data. If the data is not displaying in the drop down, you cannot enter it manually, right? So this is not a field where you can enter the data. This is a field where you can select the data in the country drop down, but you are not able to select it because the data has not loaded. If I click on submit, please select an item in the list, but this item is not displaying, right? This is a defect. Likewise, you have to click on each and every link. Facebook is there, Twitter is there, LinkedIn is there, Google Plus is there, and here YouTube. So all the links you have to click and you have to verify whether this is navigating to proper page or not. And you have to select each and every field. First of all, understand what is this field. This is a text field. Text field means you can enter any data. You can enter alphabets, you can enter numbers, you can enter special characters, any kind of data you can enter. And address field, this is a text area. This is bigger than the first name, and last name field. It is somehow you can enter around 160 or 200 characters here because address may be lengthy. We can call this as a text area. And this is called radio button. And these are called checkboxes. And this is called multi-select radio drop down. This is called multi-select drop down. Multi-select means you can select multiple options here. Okay. And this is skills are nothing but drop down. This is, and country is nothing but drop down. And here select country is also drop down. And date of birth, you can call it as a date picker or you can call it as a drop down. You can call it as a date picker or you can call it as a drop down. And password is nothing but you need to call it as a password field. Even though it looks like a text field, you need to call it as a password only. Why? Because it's the data what you are going to enter is nothing but in a encrypted format. Is nothing but in a encrypted format. And submit and refresh are nothing but buttons, you can call it as. And we have one more functionality here, which is called photo upload. Choose file. If you click on this one, it will open your local system directory, folders and all. You need to select one photo and you need to upload it. Likewise, you need to test this page and then you need to navigate to next window, next tab, which is nothing but web table it is saying. So you need to enter some data and you need to check whether you are able to edit the data or not, whether you are able to delete the data or not, whether you can see this pagination or not. If you set 10 records per page, 10 items per page, so you need to see 10. If you have 20, you need to see 20. If you have 30, you need to see 30. So if you keep it as 30, and if it is displaying only 10 records, means you have only 10 records in your application. If you have more than 30, and if you selected 30 here, the list of 30 will be displayed and the rest of the records will be displayed in the next page. Likewise, you need to enter the data here. One second. So this is the web table, and you have another window called another menu called switch to alerts, windows, and frames. If you click on alerts, and you have this button, okay, click on the button to display the alert box. So I'm an alert box. If you can just click on okay, the alert window will be closed. Alert with okay and cancel. Click on this one, you can see okay and cancel buttons here. Click on text box. If you click on this prompt, you can enter the text here. I'll do one thing, maybe I'll share this website to you. You can just navigate each and every window. Okay, you can navigate each and every menu, whatever the menu that you are seeing on the screen. You can just click on this menu and you can go to this one and see what you understood, because you have to know what is mean by text field, what is mean by drop down, what is mean by radio button, what is mean by checkbox, what is mean by button, what is mean by link, what is mean by table, what is mean by alert, what is mean by frame, what is mean by window, what is mean by new tab. Okay, so just understand each and every menu what you are seeing on screen here by clicking on each and every link. This will help you in manual testing, and this will help you in automation script designing part as well. Automation script designing as well, right? So just navigate each and every screen and make sure you are going to click on each and every link first and try to understand what it is saying, so that this application testing can be performed either by seeing all the screens or by using FRS document. One main point always you have to remember is, in order to test the application, there are two documents which are important. One is FRS document, another one is test case document. Right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Fine. I just shared this website. Go through the options in each and every website and let me know. That's it from my end, guys. So if you have anything to discuss, or if you have any questions, or if you have any concepts that you want me to recap one more time, let me know. I'll be waiting for 5 more minutes, and then Jyoti, with this manual testing is being done. From next week onwards, we are going to have the test automation, and that's a fresh technical concept that we are going to have. This much theoretical will not be there. If any students want, any candidates wants to join for only test automation, let them know.
Okay.
you can ping me if you have any questions or if you have anything to discuss. You can just ping me in the chat window. Okay, let me go one by one. What is your opinion on manual testing? Overall opinion on manual testing, Arun?
Sir.
What is your overall opinion on manual testing concepts that we discussed, and what is your you can let me know. This concepts has to be revised, or if you want me to repeat so and so concept, I can do that. So what are your areas that you need to concentrate more?
No, sir, I have done all this. I need to say, and I understand all those things. I can ready to say any answer from day one class to till now.
Okay.
I need how many days to come to complete this automation?
It will take minimum 30 days.
Okay.
Maybe we have holidays in between also, right? Sankranti. People may available or may not, we don't know.
What's your feedback, sir? As we are leaving the class.
Sorry, can you repeat that? What is your?
What's your feedback, sir? From
No. So far, like interaction wise, I'm good with everyone. But assignments wise, I need to see once I get all the documents, then only I can give the complete one. But interaction wise, I'm good with the answers and everything, whatever I have. Not only I'm not saying specific to you. So interaction wise, everyone has given their best, but still the assignments wise, I need to get that document so that we can review and I can give complete feedback on each and every one.
thank you.
Chandra Kumari.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chandra.
Sir, I am attending each and every class. I'm learning. I think I am understand all topics. But I have a small doubt in test case technique.
Okay.
Which test case technique are used in upload a document in Google Drive? I don't know. Tell me.
Okay. So did you write the steps for that?
Yes, sir. I already read this.
Okay. So what is my question here? It's how to upload a document into Google Drive. How to save or upload a document into Google Drive.
Which test case technique are used?
What is that test case? Okay, which test case technique we need to follow?
Yes, sir.
This is your question.
Sir.
Okay, you can follow either boundary value analysis or equivalence class partition, because why I am telling both the techniques you can follow here, because if you I don't know whether you are aware of this or not.
Okay.
Like 1 year or 2 years before, if you want to upload any kind of software or any kind of XML or YAML files to Google Drive is not going to accept it. It is like I'm saying around 2 years before. Why? Because softwares cannot be transferred from one email to another email, and it is not allowing any of the user to transfer that. In that case, I can say it's a valid case will be there, invalid case will be there. We can use any one of the technique at that time. Even now also, we can use any one of the technique, but there is no limitations for your Google Drive. It is automatically scanning what are the documents that you are uploading, what are the files that you are uploading, what are the softwares that you are saving in the Google Drive. But whenever you are sharing that particular drive to other person, it is scanning everything and it is validating as part of security compliance in the backend, and it is going to send out an email to the opposite person. Maybe you are not aware of all these things, but still what is happening in the backend is whenever you upload any document or whenever you upload any kind of file or folder or software to Google Drive, in the backend it is going to scan. Sorry.
Okay.
In the backend it is going to scan. So in this case, there is no specific valid scenario and there is no specific invalid scenario at all. Every case is valid only. That means every document it is accepting, right?
Okay.
If it is accepting every document, automatically we can call this as either a boundary value analysis or equivalence class partition.
Okay.
So boundary value analysis, at least we can have that validation. So, okay, this is the boundary and these are valid case, these are invalid case. Equivalence class partition, we are segregating. This is a valid case and this is an invalid case, we are dividing. But here, whenever we are talking about all the documents can be uploaded, there is no concept of specific case to invalid, specific case to valid. So
Okay.
that's one of the main reason we can call it as any kind of technique we can follow.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's enough, sir. I have no doubt.
Thank you. Devi Divya.
Yes, sir. I'm okay with anything. I mean, I understood the classes well, but I need to do some revision. Then I'm okay with the manual testing subject.
Okay. Just go through the document, Divya, and if you have any queries or if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Harika. Okay.
Yes, sir. I have improved knowledge on manual testing, sir. Once I practice this testing, after I pin my doubts, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Konanki Chandu.
Sir, I have no doubt, sir. I am happy with what you are telling, sir.
Thank you. Koteshwar Rao.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I can understand all topics in manual testing.
Okay.
So you are teaching very well, good, sir. I can understand my language.
Thank you so much. Koteshwar Rao Dulipala.
I have understand, sir. I have no doubts. Your teaching is good, sir.
Thank you so much. Naveen Kumar.
Sir, everything is good, sir. Your teaching very good.
Thank you. Pooja Etla.
Sir, I'm able to understand your question, sir.
Okay. Any questions? Please do let me know, guys. Pradeep Reddy.
I don't have any notes.
Thank you. Pravalika Jigiri. Maybe I'm not able to listen your voice. You're not audible, Pravalika.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
No doubt, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope it's clear. And if you have any queries, please do let me know.
Okay.
Sahita.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you. Srichandana Yadav.
Yes, sir, I understood topics, sir. Once I want to revise the topics.
Okay. Thank you. Srinivas.
Yes, sir. I have no doubt, sir.
Good.
Your teaching is very good.
Thank you so much. Suman Yadav.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Hello.
Continue, Suman. I'm able to listen.
Yeah, sir. I'm basically electrical background, sir.
Okay.
I'm scared about this testing. After your class, I have some confidence because your experience is so good, sir.
Thank you so much.
Make me more confident.
Thank you so much.
Even I don't know experience, sir.
Okay. That's great. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Going forward, anything else, if you want to repeat or if anything else that you want to discuss more, then please do let me know. We will discuss.
Yeah.
Iram Setti Vamsi Shivagopi.
Yeah, hi sir, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have any doubts. I have to revise
Sure.
all the topics.
Please go ahead and let me know. Please
Yeah, okay.
revise those things and
Okay.
Inmala Pratyusha.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am okay with overall manual classes, sir.
Okay.
Your teaching is very good, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Fine. Thanks for this positive feedback, and we will have, like, till now, whatever the portion or whatever the concepts that we discussed in manual testing are completely related to process oriented, theoretical and documentation oriented. But going forward, for sure, I can tell you, compared to my concept, your practice is very important in test automation. So practice, and this time it is okay for me even if you can take 4 or 5 days for completing the assignments. But in test automation, I would suggest you to go with the assignments on daily basis, because what will happen here in automation is, whenever we discussed about a concept, if you are going to perform the assignment on the same day, you'll remember the technical concept very easily. But if you want to have this assignment after 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, maybe, as this is new thing to you, you may not be able to remember all the technical concepts, how this program can be executed, or how this concept can be derived, or how this program can be designed. All these things you may forget even after 1 or 2 days. If you can practice on the same day, maybe you'll remember everything, and you can have that understanding on the interview point of view. So that's one of the main reason I would suggest you to do the practice on the same day whenever we are talking about test automation. Okay, so make sure at least you spend at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes time for test automation related concepts. Okay, so at least 30 minutes to 1 hour you should spend some time on test automation concepts. Manual testing, that's fine. Even today or tomorrow, you can just read the documents, you'll be able to understand. But test automation will not be like that. You cannot read any kind of document as part of technicality. As part of programmatically, you cannot read any kind of things. You may just Google it and you can get the program, but still at the end of the day, how that program is going to work and how this execution is going to happen, you may have a lot of questions. So that's one of the main reason I would suggest you to have the practice on the same day. Make sure you are going to spend at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes on daily basis apart from this session, and complete the assignments if you have anything else that I'm going to provide, and make sure you are going to complete it on the same day. Okay, 1 or 2 exceptions, fine, but this is one of the good practice that you have to follow when you are into test automation. Okay, and as I said, Monday we'll have the mock interview round for first 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and then we'll start with test automation, how this test automation works, and how this introduction is going to get started with automation, and how the basics of Java is going to get started, and how we need to install the softwares, and how the configuration is going to get started. Everything will be started from Monday session. Okay, and one thing, whenever you are practicing manual testing, so whatever the document that you are going to have, whenever you are reading the document or whenever you are testing the application, one thing that you have to follow is the testing activity has to perform by using FRS document and test cases only. This is a mandatory thing in the real time. Without these 2 documents, you are not going to test the application. Second thing, the test cases what you are going to design should be understandable by the everyone, not only you. It should be a very basic thing that you are navigating the end user, and think that you are the end user of the application. If you are the end user of the application, how you are going to deal with that? So these two things are mandatory whenever you are dealing with manual testing activities. Fine. Okay. Jyoti, I'm done with manual testing. If you have anything else to talk to the team, you can. Otherwise, I can wind up the session.
Nothing from my end.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Madam, please share the mail link, madam.
What?
In mail, madam, he said he will put in the chat box.
Yeah, I already sent my mail staffing1.appraisers@gmail.com.
1 second. Let me share. Maybe Jyoti, I have disabled that.
Okay.
I just shared that. I hope everyone received that email, right?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.